Hello everyone, so Newcastle have been beaten 2-0 here at home at St James's Park, which is a rarity for Newcastle. We're suffering a defeat, we feel a bit negged out, but this is the last word, everyone. Yeah everyone, so we're going to get into it. Look, I can't say you've been too positive. I think 40 wants heavy saying something, but I do want to start with a couple of positives which are really touching as well. Johnny put a video out this morning, I edited it, and we all seen the news, and it wasn't a massive surprise to see Christian Atsu had sadly passed away. 40, what's your initial thoughts on the whole situation?
Just sad, just heartbroken. Obviously, played for us. Was here for 5 seasons, and again, just condolences go out to the family. Just sad to see, someone lose their life so early on. 31 years of age is no age at all, and once again, condolences to the family.
Yeah, it was really nice, and his name was sang over and over. If you haven't seen Johnny's video, we'll put it out this morning. Go out and have a look at it. But yeah, from all of us at NFT, and I'm sure all of our subscribers, members, send the condolences out to his family because they still live in Newcastle. They love the city, and it's got that bug, Newcastle. So Christian Atsu wanted to keep his family in the city, and yeah, God bless us all. Bobby Robson, another lovely touching moment. He would have been 90 today. I've got my own stories about Bobby. I've met Bobby a few times. He's told me off. And that was just again a nice touch by War Flags.
Yeah, really big shout out to War Flags because obviously it's been a very, very emotional day before the game got kicked off, and I've seen that the club have done a lot of stuff beforehand in regards to, I think Waxer, the guy from Twitter, held out with a video that they created, and it was fantastic. It really, really was. I love the flags with the fact that Sporting Lisbon, PSV, Barcelona, Ipswich Town, Newcastle. I'm probably missing one out there, but look. Porter, that's the one I'm missing out, I think. But yeah, it was fantastic. Really, really nice. And look, a tough day for Newcastle United fans, young and old, considering they probably would remember Christian Atsu. Definitely remember Bobby Robson for what he did for Newcastle as well. So yeah, very, very difficult before a ball was even kicked this afternoon. Right,
then let's get cracking. You've all tuned in for the football. So we'll begin with Harry. I'll come to you on this one with the lineup, of course. It was Isak up top. Great to see Callum Wilson back. I've got 2 questions for you. Is he just playing it safe with Wilson for the final? That's your first one. And then second one, Elliot Anderson. That was a bit of an eyebrow raiser, wasn't it?
Yeah, so on Wilson, I think he hadn't trained all week, had he? So I wasn't too surprised. I think he wanted to get half an hour into him, clearly, because he brought him on. I think that's to get him some minutes before the final. But I don't think he would have started regardless. I think Isak was always bound to start. And then not Anthony Gordon, Elliot Anderson, I was almost 100% sure Elliot Anderson was going to start on the bench. Gordon would have started. So yeah, very surprised by that one. Very surprised. Very brave decision to bring him in against Liverpool for his first Premier League start. I'm sure it raised many eyebrows, and obviously he ended up getting hauled off quite early for other reasons. Yeah, thought he looked energetic, but that's about all I've got to say on Elliot Anderson.
Right, that's a cracking. So it's a good bright first 5-10 minutes by Newcastle. The SM, we'll touch on him later. Very, very bright. Before I'm going to go straight to the goals because it's unlike us. I think the ball's clipped, and it happened twice. The ball's clipped, and it's in between Fabian Schär and Kieran Trippier. Núñez, I don't think it's handball. I think he touches it down, and it's 1-0, and it's very unlike us.
Even before the goal, I've got to say I don't think Eddie Howe got it right in terms of starting Elliot Anderson. I've seen enough to see like he's not ready for these big games. He's not, and again that's one minor error. Well, one major error in this game, but one minor across the season. Like he's not ready for first team football right now. He just isn't. Like I know we've got Bruno, who's a big gaping hole in the middle of our midfield out, and it's hard to kind of fill that gaping hole when we haven't got like for like replacements, but to throw someone in the deep end there, it's just not right. Like we've got players on the bench that could do a job. Like why not start Anthony Gordon against Liverpool? An Everton boy against Liverpool kind of makes more sense. Or you could even play it safe with someone like Matt Ritchie, who came on and did a job. Someone who's got experience, someone like that. But to throw on a young lads against a very, very good Liverpool team who are coming back, I'm sorry, that's the critical error starting off. But getting to the first goal, yeah, Schär was out of position, sorry to say. And Scher's been phenomenal all season, so I'm not getting onto him for the majority of the season. Today, if we're just looking at it, just point blank period, he had a mare today, and he was at fault for, I'd say, probably both goals, if I'm being honest.
I also think Kieran Trippier was as well, which is, again, incredibly rare from it, and we're stuttering a little bit. And go check the score in the players because we came back out what we scored every individual player. But 1-0 down, errors, and again it's another similar type of goal. Salah's on the ball, it's a little clip through Johnny. Gakpo's coming from behind. I think he runs behind. I haven't seen it again. We're doing this off the cut. I haven't seen it back, but I think he's behind Trippier. Trippier's asleep. We're 2-0 down after 25 minutes.
I don't even think Newcastle played that bad. I just think Liverpool had a little bit of quality at the right time in the right areas of the pitch. And you look at the second goal in particular, the ball from Salah, the run by Gakpo. We can pick holes at maybe who's at fault defensively wise. I just think for the 2 goals that Liverpool have scored, it was just that quality that they had. They've always had a bit of buzz on Monday night beating Everton, and they've got the goal there. Look, it must have been close. At VAR we're looking for about 3 minutes
on both goals. Yeah,
on both goals. In regards to the second goal, it's obviously it must be close, but I don't have much.
I don't think it's Liverpool's. I think it's our own downfall. I think
I've not. Again, I don't know if any of us have the benefit of seeing the replays. I haven't seen the benefit of the replays on these goals, mainly because of their connection outside ain't great enough to go and watch the goals back. But from what I saw at the time, I just thought they were just 2 individual pieces of brilliance in terms of that ball from Salah and the pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold for the first goal. You can argue more about the first goal. Why is that ball getting past or getting to an area that we can't deal with it? I can understand that, but I just think in particular the second goal, that pass from Salah was just ridiculous, and we definitely didn't deserve to be 2-0 down, but we were 2-0 down.
We're 2-0 down and thinking, hey, what's happened here? But the big moment, and there was a couple of signs. Nick Pope's came out already, and he does well. He comes off and heads it away, and I'm going to come to you, Harry, for this one. So again, it's another clip ball, which again, it's so unlike Newcastle to be all over the place. So Pope's come flying out just on the left-hand side, outside the box. The ball, if you can point the camera, don't call. The ball's so low, just fucking kick it.
But he's notoriously not good with his feet. Like, we know this about Nick Pope. As good as he's been all season, arguably our player of the season, we know he's not good with his feet. And they targeted.
Why is he trying to?
I don't know.
That low?
You'd have to ask him.
He's panicked. That's all it is. He's just panicked. He hasn't managed to deal with it first time round. He's probably tried to head it because he did do that a couple of minutes before where he just heads it. He's obviously missed the header, seen Salah and panicked. What I think the issue is, I don't have an issue with his starting position. I think his starting position is fine. Yeah. He just hasn't dealt with it and he has panicked, and I think that's the biggest issue. And everybody's human. What are you going to do? You're going to handle it, or you're going to do something. You're going to sit on it. He almost sat on the ball on his stomach basically. But sweet low, sweet sing low. What was it? Swing low, sweet carriers. That's what we're going to sing next. That's what we're going to sing, aren't we, next week?
Yeah. Apparently he's injured. Who knows? Let's hope he can carry us. We'll have more on that.
No, you can't be doing this to us, man, Carl.
Actually true.
That's what's being said. He can't be injured. Listen, Carl, you better rub him down then, because again, this is his moment to shine. He can remove that flipping hoodoo from that Liverpool game years and years ago and make himself an actual Geordie legend if he gets back fit, because Dubravka can't play for us.
I want to come back to the goalkeeper later on after we have from Eddie Howe.
Genuinely, that's what was being said.
So, game over, isn't it? I mean, we're all on. I'm sat. I don't know what it's like. We're all on phone. Does he miss the final? Does he miss the final? Yeah. Is it violent conduct? Can he get away with it? Does it go into the Carabao Cup? Does it not? Obviously it does. So, but we'll talk about that in a second. But we're 2-0 down after half an hour with 10 men, and we've lost the goalkeeper.
Absolutely gutting. I mean, we've just been through the red card, but what is Nick Pope doing? He has obviously panicked, and it is really frustrating because we were the better side. We had all the ball. I think we weren't particularly creating many chances, but then shortly after Nick Pope gets sent off, ASM's gone on a mad run, tested Alisson, pulled a brilliant save off, and we hit the bar. We then hit the bar 10 minutes later or so. So we were the better side in that first half. We just haven't defended well, and as we were saying, Liverpool have just picked us out. It's our own downfall. It's quite really frustrating that, because I thought Newcastle on the whole today played actually really well. But
it's probably the best performance in quite a few games, funny enough. But yes, Harry's already touched upon a couple of those chances. We're going into half time 2-0 down, and it's. I think for me, the life was sucked out of me 40 when the goalkeeper was sent off, because I think if it was 2-0 down. Yeah. Against 11,
even
I think we've still got that chance to get a goal back, and I think the red card, it's just because it's not violent conduct. It's a bit of daftness with Pope not judging it right. But was the game dead and buried then?
Pretty much, like you said, like even.
Oh, time to get run over again, are we? This happens.
Rob Lee, by the way.
Only by Rob Lee.
Yeah,
It's Rob Lee.
it's Rob Lee. He can run us over. It's fine. He's legend in his parts.
Speaking of Rob Lee, he might be mentioned in a video later this week.
As I was saying though, before we get run over by Rob Lee, no, he's going the other way. He's going the other way.
You know what it is? It's not the first time he's done it. He's done somebody over the years, hasn't he? Like, he's done us. He's done us.
He just respects us too much. Doesn't want us to move.
He doesn't want it on Newcastle fans TV, does he? Yeah, like the game was dead and buried, like we said. So even if we conceded a third, I still believe we could have got in the game, even though we didn't score. Like we were just going for them, hammer and tong. But you know what? With the positives, I actually learnt more about this team than we usually do.
Well, that's the saying, isn't it? You learn more after defeat.
That's the thing, because I've often come on here and said we haven't got a plan B, As soon as ASM moves into the centre midfield, we looked at a massive threat. Yeah, forward, centre midfield, he was all over the shop. Come on. So again, we actually look like we've got a plan B. So that's good going into a cup final, because you never know. We might be in that position again next week. So hopefully not, fingers crossed. But if we're trailing Man United, we now know we can't just rely on Bruno all the time. We've actually got ASM, we've got other players to bring into the team. So
yeah, we'll come to that again. Johnny, the second half was huff and puff, and obviously Dubravka, he's had to force low down, hasn't he? In the first half, it was the first half. No, that was the second half, sorry. But Liverpool had a few chances right at the death. I think Newcastle were just trying to chuck bodies the other way, and they were a little bit open, but just a little bit earlier. Wilson had that great chance, Alisson saves, but overall, is Foley right? Is ASM the man of the match today?
I thought he was superb. I thought he was absolutely superb. I thought Isak as well. I thought Isak was brilliant for Newcastle. I thought the pair
link up too, don't they? Link up well.
They link up really, really well. And we've needed a performance out of Saint-Maximin like that, and that was the performance he needed going into next week, because there's a strong possibility he could start next week. We don't know how bad Joe Willock is. We don't know how. We know Joe Linton's been substituted. He's seen that he was okay to carry on, but they didn't want to take a risk. He might need to start. Look, tonight was Saint-Maximin the best player on the pitch? He definitely created the most, and he definitely scared Liverpool at times. I think we were just missing that spark. We were just missing that goal. And I think Isak's had a couple of chances. You could argue Isak or Saint-Maximin. Probably would just shade Saint-Maximin today. But I thought Isak, the amount of running he does, and I think he only lost the ball once. I seen him like when he came off, he sprinted off, and I just thought today you've shown today you can play with the likes of Van Dijk and not be arsed about it. I thought at times he really made the Liverpool central defenders sweat. It's just a shame that we were down to 10 men, because I think if we had 11 on the pitch, maybe with Bruno, I don't think Liverpool would be coming away with 3 points. I think we would be giving them a real game, and I think we could have actually. I don't think Liverpool will be getting 6 points of us next season, in my opinion.
Yeah, the last 3 league games we've been beaten by is Liverpool. We're coming with a bogey team, but talk about that in a second. Harry, before we hear from Eddie Howe, the substitutions that he did make, is he just saving them for the final? Or is there a little bit of truth that they might have Kieran Knox? For me, I think he saved them for the final. I think he knows the game is dead and buried.
Yeah, if you look at the players that came off, it was Trippier, Isak, Joe Linton, and I can't remember the other two. Well, obviously Pope came off. No, anyway, regardless.
Anderson,
so he was saving them for the final, but I was slightly baffled Murphy playing right back behind.
Not Manquillo.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't really make sense, but I think he was saving them for the final, because obviously they've probably put a little bit more effort in, being down to 10 men, wanted to make sure Wilson's got a few minutes in as well. So yeah, I think that was the case, saving them for the final.
Right, it's Eddie Howe, then we're going to talk when we come back about the cup final. We want to know what your comments are. Are you a little bit more deflated? Are you still confident we can go to Wembley and get something? We'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's a real tragedy for Christian, his family. I woke up to the news as everyone else did, and I was truly devastated for him, and as I say, and his everyone that knew him. A lot of players in our dressing room that worked with him for a couple of years, and yeah, I've made reference to that, before the game, speaking to the players, because I felt it was something we needed to do. But we'll pay tribute to him today as a football club with a minute's silence.
It's a very sad day for Newcastle and for all the players as well, because most of the players there know him well. It was a great guy, I have a mini conversation with him and a very nice time with him. And to see that it's very painful. So it's something still at the moment difficult to talk about for me. But for sure, I will never forget that, guys, and I will fight for him.
Cheer up, 40 man, we're in a final next weekend, man.
You are. I'll be watching from home or in a bar somewhere.
Oh, you'll be on Wembley, you'll be with us, man. Just come to Trafalgar Square,
Yeah.
we'll push you in the fountain. Right, it feels negative because we just came out with defeat, sorry. And is it the Nick Pope that's hanging on with now because we've got a goalkeeping crisis? Is that why we're all...
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, the positive, we've got Bruno to come back in, and boy, do we miss him. But yeah, Nick Pope, who's been a standout all season, is going to be a big, big miss. And who do we put in net? Because we can't put Dubravka in there because he's going to be cut tired. I'm hearing rumours that Karius injured, but Carl will rub him down, so he'll be all right. So it might be Mark Gillespie, has he kicked a ball in anger in a Newcastle United shirt? Anytime?
Not for a while, I think it was Newport.
Maybe in training, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Nick Pope's going to be a big miss.
Played in Saudi, but I mean, obviously it's not competitive.
Yeah, he did play in Saudi. You've got Jude Smith, who's a great young goalkeeper, and
Carl Darlow.
Can Carl Darlow be recalled? That's... Have you heard the conversation we're having here?
Mickey Carrick,
we're like, we're trying to like pick at little things. I think whoever comes in, are we all thinking it's Karius? And secondly, are you confident?
If Loris Karius is fit, he has to start. But I would still, for more experience. Look, we know he's played the Champions League final, and I know he cocked it up. We know that. We've watched it. He knows. He's been told so many times. But how
to redeem himself, innit, mate?
That's it, 40 positivity. Come on.
Listen, we're moving.
The voice of reason.
Thank you. Okay, look, you got me now. You got me.
Hear me out. I've got literally, this is the most ridiculous sentence I'm going to say. Loris Karius could make one game for Newcastle United. If he plays a blinder and Newcastle win, he doesn't have to play another single game and become a legend for Newcastle. It's ridiculous.
There'll also be a quiz question out there. When was the last time a goalkeeper made a debut in a cup final?
Yeah, you got
you know what I mean? We're going.
It was, I don't know.
Yeah, Loris Karius, when he lifted the Carabao Cup for Newcastle United, there you go. I predicted it already. It's in the future. There you go. You're watching this right now, a week early. Sorry. There you go.
Or you've just jinxed the whole thing. But no, for me, the worry is the pressure, because everything now switches from Bruno's back for the final to Karius in goal. Karius, can he deal with the pressure of the final? And I think if he's in goal, if that goes to his head, it could go one way or the other, couldn't it? It could either spur him on to make a man of the match performance, or it could get to him, and he could reproduce his Champions League.
I was going to say, can I just reiterate that my biggest worry before Pope getting sent off was that it's just going to be Bruno FC, like we're just going to be a one-man band. But seeing that today now, being down to 10 men and still running Liverpool ragged, I'm actually more confident. Yeah, it's crazy. So.
Well, I think that's the thing is, look, the positives, yes, the negative is going to probably outweigh the positive, because we'll have Bruno back and we'll probably have Joe Willock maybe on the bench. At least that's a better option than what we've got, because I'm looking at that. Elliot Anderson, I think, is only played today because of the injuries. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't think Elliot Anderson will play at all in the cup final.
I don't want it to be like, we already know what team we're going to put out, because all season we've put out, let's say, 9 out of 11 players are always going to be, you know who's going to be there. So I don't want it to be too predictable where...
I think we will. I think the goalkeeper change and Bruno comes in.
At least now, seeing that today or tonight, like we know that, okay, if it's too predictable, it's still 0-0 after 70 minutes or 80 minutes now. We now know, okay, we've got an option where we can move ASM in central and he can do a job, because he ran the show today. Yeah. He ran the absolute show and ran them ragged. So if he can do that against Liverpool, Premier League winners not too long ago, then Man United, it's a doddle.
And remember, we don't have Anthony Gordon, we don't have Martin Dubravka. Another weird thing is that if Manchester United win the League Cup, Dubravka picks up a cup medals. I mean, that's going to be a bit weird, isn't it?
Imagine that would be well awkward if he goes up in his Newcastle colours, picking up.
Like shirt revealing this, take it off.
It just highlights why did he leave us on loan? Because if he didn't leave us on loan, he's playing for us next week, isn't he?
It's still bizarre. It's like that, the whole transfer. We said it in the summer. It was so bizarre. Why? Why are we giving our second choice goalkeeper to not necessarily a rival, but to another Premier League team. I don't get it, because he was going to be sitting on the bench at Man United, which he was anyway. Sometimes he wasn't even sitting on the bench. It's utterly bonkers.
It is. He's probably thinking that he's playing all Europa League games.
No,
I
think he only played twice, and one of them was in the Cup, which is
shocking.
Which has meant he can't play for us in the Cup because he's come back because he's not playing. Just bizarre, as you say.
It's so bizarre, but I just think, again, it's just ridiculous. You just got to put your foot down and just say no. No, you're not. Especially the way that Man United were with Jesse Lingard. Yeah. Tell the fuck off.
I've got 2 questions for you. First one, who plays up front in the cup final, Wilson or Isak?
I think Wilson will.
And then the second one,
but it's a great option for Isak.
Who lifts the trophy first, Lascelles or Trippier when we win it?
Joint. I think it'll be joint. I do want to just come back.
People, clip that up.
I just want to come back because this was a league fixture. I'll go all the way around here. The top 4 is Liverpool back in it now because we've lost here.
Has to be. I think the wheels are slightly starting to come off, unfortunately. We're starting to lose a little bit of momentum. Like, the draws have been coming. We drew a defeat, and lo and behold, it's the only team to defeat us this season. I think just the intensity, can't keep up the whole time. We did miss out on not replacing Shelby. We shouldn't have let Shelby leave without replacing him, because Elliot Anderson isn't the answer. Thank you very much. It's probably Elliot Anderson's car going off.
Probably Nick Pope's. There's an alarm going on.
But yeah, like, I think the top 4, we're slowly starting to see like the reasons why we haven't got that quality just yet in terms of bringing them off the bench. Because after the 11, we're done.
I mean, just the squad depth is highlighted in the team that we finished with yesterday. Yeah, today. Sorry. Obviously, we were down to 10 men, but like Jacob Murphy at right back, Matt Ritchie at centre mid. Like, it's
players that they brought on, Liverpool brought on, and he saw the players that we brought on. Unfortunately, like, it's. I know what you're going to say, Johnny. Like,
we will get there. We will get that squad.
It's just we're not there yet.
So the last question then. I'll come to you, Johnny. Then, because if you look, it depends how you look at it. The bad run of form / performance has come at a worst possible time. Or is it a cup tie?
Do you know what it
anything
is?
Can happen in a cup tie.
Do you know what it is? It's irrelevant because of the situation that we're in. Because ever since that Southampton game, when that full-time whistle was blown, have you thought about West Ham, Bournemouth, and Liverpool? Really? I haven't. Maybe, but I'm going to work and I'm going, it's only 2 weeks till Wembley. Oh my God, it's only 10 days till Wembley. Oh my God, like I'm not bothered about the 3 games that we've just played. But top 4 can take a break for a couple of weeks, and I know it's Manchester City next in the Premier League, but Liverpool's still got a game in hand, which is against Chelsea. Can't imagine Potter's going to be there.
I would love to play Chelsea.
No, but do you know the thing is with me right now, Liverpool's still got to play Man United at home, Man City away, Arsenal at home, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Spurs at Anfield. That's 5 difficult games. You know, they're not going to win all 5 of them. Yes, we've still got a small advantage, even if they win their games, and I think we're 3 points clear with a better goal difference, so essentially 4 points. No one said before this game today that even if we'd won today, we were going to be in the top 4. It just makes things a little bit more difficult, but after this cup final could be so big. If we win against Manchester United next week,
when we win, sorry, I'll let him carry on.
But what I'm saying is, if we come out of Wembley next Sunday with a cup, could you imagine what this place is going to be like? Could you imagine what Newcastle fans are going to be? No, but could you just imagine what the city's going to be like from now at the end of the season? It's been great for the last 14 months, 16 months, whatever, since the takeover. It'll be ridiculous. It'll be 20 million times better because we've got a trophy in our back pocket. Yes, we're ahead of schedule. Yes, we've got players that shouldn't be playing for Newcastle right now if we're going to be trying to get into the top 4. But this is year 1. We're literally, you heard Jurgen Klopp. He's petrified of what Newcastle can do. In a couple of years, Newcastle United will be regularly minimum top 4, top 5, trying to get into that like top 1 or 2 because it's just a matter of time. We've got to be patient, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be a long fucking week next week, I'm telling you that for a fact.
Leading us nicely on, we'll wrap up here because we have absolute tons of Wembley videos. I've already started behind the scenes on 1 or 2 videos. We've got a live quiz coming later this week, so it should be good fun as well. And then we'll build into the weekend where we're going to be bringing you tons and tons of content as well. And we'll also chuck in the women's game for you, because me and Johnny are up there on Tuesday night. But from all of us, 5 actually, I know he said 4, 5 of us, smash that, drop that like, whatever. See us. Bye.
Really sad because he was a nice, special person. He was a good professional, very good professional. and don't talk about if he's a good player or not. He was a nice lad, good player, but especially really nice person, so a special person, and everybody always, you can see the pictures always with a smile, playing or playing, so really sad for him and for everyone that has been involved in that, because it's a tragic news.